Oh. And again, note the wooden floor. Or wooden... Well, there's too much wood in this dungeon. This dungeon is more or less made of wood, like so many others. It's a bit of a maze, too. Let me see. Make a left turn. And take some stone to put down. Because I'm not sure whether I'll be backtracking or making a big loop and coming and circling back around. And there's these urns because we're underground. This one has a zombie head in it. That's interesting. The stuff they have kind of varies. Ah, and over there is one of the resident hostile mobs. Yeah, I've only got 2 of those. Oh well. But now you know what it's like around here. Yeah, I don't want to take the risk in a wooden dungeon. Go this way too. I think that this mod, or rather this mod pack, includes something where fires can sort of burn themselves out after a while. I think if this dungeon did catch fire, it wouldn't really last very long, or it wouldn't be as long as it would without it there. There's only +6 armor. I'm also not sure if the wood, or if this dungeon, physically speaking, is... See, look at where it's located. It's over a body of water, but it's in a rift, as opposed to being on top of something. Now, mushrooms I really don't need. Now, objectively, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot that's particularly valuable. But I've been running a shortage on iron ever since immersive engineering. Okay, where'd I suppose another way of tracking where you are is using the chests themselves. You see they change color after you've looted them. So you could theoretically base it on that. I suppose I could just backtrack through all this later. Come on. This really is annoying. I mean, I have no idea. I'm not actually sure what... Depending, I suppose I could fight those things. But if one of them is a blitz, it'll hit me by lightning and kill me. Like immediately, they're like that. And I don't know, I'd rather not risk it like that, you know? Alright, where did I put... Glad I saw that thing before it saw me. And I can sort of see dungeons that I've looted again, looted before, or barrels that I've looted before. I think this is where we came in. So, that was close. Perhaps what I ought to do is barricade this area off completely so that I can backtrack. Here we are. Now it's officially a dead end. I can go back and see what I missed. You know, this dungeon certainly has a thing for baked potatoes. And I actually thought I wasn't going to find any coal down here, but still, I had no idea what kind of dungeon I'd run into. Okay. I don't think I need an axe. Among other things, I got a buzzsaw. Wait a minute. There's at least another one of... Yeah, those things can spawn in place of regular skeletons. Alright. I'd like to... There's two of them? Alright, I'm not facing two of these at once. At least not until I've captured the high ground completely and made myself inaccessible to them. There we go, much better. Now let me see if I can pick up where I left off. It just occurred to me I could probably shoot them. Maybe I'll try that next time one of those things shows up. I got gold here. Well, gold... The funny thing about gold is that I dug out a lot of it because I thought I needed it for this one mechanism thing. And then it turns out I was reading the recipe wrong, and I needed it for... let's prune this dead end off. It turns out I need to make a different thing which required less gold, which is a bit of a relief. Now I need more torches. After all, it is pretty dark down here. It's not like those redstone torches give off that much light. I mean, they do technically give off some, but not enough to see by. Well, this is interesting. We have a mob riding piggyback on another mob. You know when I last saw that? Besides here? Well, Vex's Super Hostile Dungeons, of course. Now there you had a sort of a... I remember a dungeon very like this, which had a sort of... well, I don't know what the term for it actually is. But you know how when, like, One guy sits on top of another guy's shoulders. It was sort of like that. A skeleton sitting on top of another skeleton, sitting on top of another skeleton. Forget how high it went, but it's really fascinating. The name of the dungeon is called Inferno Mines, and I'm pretty sure that there's at least one playthrough of it on YouTube. If you were to just Google it. There's a lot that went into it. That was back in the olden days too, before, I think before villagers. There were no mods back then as we know them. But the vanilla Minecraft was very heavily customized. Very heavily customized. I think that skeleton just did remind me of another thing where there was this variant of zombie pigman, which had carried this sign as a weapon, and the sign would knock you miles away. Well, you know how these mod pack developers are, they always reference each other. I don't remember the name for it off the top of my head. But it was named after its developer. That reminded me a little bit of that plague asylum where you had enemies and such that ran really quickly but were really weak. Except in that case they were husks. I don't know what they were supposed to look like exactly. I don't really watch movies set in plague asylums, but I'm sure they were referencing. Maybe they weren't referencing anything, but they could have been. And once again, we double back on ourselves. Okay, let's backtrack and prune this off too. Does this lead anywhere, I wonder? Oh, well, besides the even more skeletons that I can't hit. There we go. Huh, I didn't know I was that flexible, but this must be the edge of the dungeon itself. If I were to take a minecart and ride along that, I would go sailing right off the edge. And this is some of the... Ooh, this is high-end loot right here. I don't suppose I need the slimes. But... This thing... Now you're probably wondering why I don't use my mechanism battle armor. And... Frankly, I suppose there's this... that stuff makes you invincible as long as it has energy. When the energy runs out, you're just as vulnerable as anybody else. I was thinking maybe I'd put that thing on if I was in an Illager-related dungeon, and they had those evokers and those vexes, which are really hard to hit. Actually, you know what would be really good for those things? Or against those things? The homing bullets. The ones from Immersive Engineering that I kept getting as rewards. I wouldn't even have to aim very well to hit the bad guy. Or in that case, the Vex. I just, theoretically, I'd only need to shoot in the general direction and let the bullet do the rest. Maybe I'll keep that in mind if I ever run into one of the Illager dungeons. And given that I know the location of an Illager camp, I just might. You know, it's funny how the lava doesn't seem to burn the wood. And yet, the lightning, when it strikes, will burn the wood. And if I fight blazes, that'll burn the wood, too. Or rather, their projectiles will. One of those things saw me. Oh, whew. At least the wave timer didn't renew or anything. And it seems I've exhausted my poor little sound engine so much that that a lot of stuff is now muted. I'm getting spammed by these error messages that they can't allocate new memory. Well, in cases like these, I'm just going to shoot the skeletons as they are shooting each other. Then I get to play the winner. Is that all of them? Apparently not. Okay, I'd love to know why I'm all of a sudden unable to hear. Let me just turn this off for a bit and then back on. Yeah, that at least sort of worked. But okay, apparently any of the in-game sounds, none of them are working. Or at least not anymore, and I don't know why. So I have no choice but to rely on, well, the messages anyway. Or everything else that's happening around me. I don't think this place spawns zombies. Okay, we're going to backtrack again. Keep backtracking. And it's playing like one sound out of every several of them. Sometimes they play, sometimes they don't. And I don't think I've ever been here before. I'm running out of room. Wait. I totally ran out of room in my backpack. Oh, here we go. Okay, obviously doing this is shooting and didn't work, but only because of how fast this thing is. I can't hit it.